Holly Breeden. I am the program chair of the Memorial Wall Committee. I'm also an operations leader here at Atrium Health Union. Welcome to our facility. I'm the one that's been bugging you all for several weeks about being here, but I appreciate y'all being here. I'm going to invite our spiritual care leader, Mandy Singleton, up to bless our food, so continue to eat and enjoy while we start our program. Mandy.
Good morning, everybody. It is nice to be with you all this morning, and I'm just so amazed every time we have this ceremony of the people who show up and who are here and who are gathered here to remember those that they've held dear in their hearts. And so I would just ask if you would to join me as we pray to thank God for this food and for the opportunity to gather together this morning. So will you pray with me? Gracious and loving God, we come before you today with hearts that are full of gratitude and sorrow as we remember these healthcare providers and teammates who served so selflessly to bring healing to others. We honor their courage, compassion, and dedication, which guided them throughout the most difficult moments. They were healers, caregivers, and beacons of hope to so many. We thank you for the lives we're remembering today. Judy Allison, one of our former volunteers, Dr. Caddy, Dr. Henry, and Robbie Osman. Help those who are grieving today to bear their sorrow without bitterness, to look forward slowly one day at a time, and to gain comfort from those who can help ease their pain. Comfort these families, friends, and colleagues. Surround them with your love, peace, and strength as they face each day. And help us this morning to honor their legacies of those we've lost by carrying forward the work that they held dear, serving others with the same compassion and love. As we stop at the memorial wall and look at these new faces, may their memories inspire us to live more fully in service to one another. We pray for strength and protection for those who continue their work in healthcare, that they may feel your presence and your love in every moment of their labor. Be with all of us who are gathered in this room today as we encourage and support one another. And we ask that you bless this food, that it would nourish and strengthen us. In your holy name we pray. Amen. I'd like to introduce Missy Baker, who is our Chief Nurse Executive at Atrium Health Union West.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our 2024 Memorial Wall Ceremony. If I can get our clicker to work. Or not. Anyway, good morning and welcome to our 2024 Memorial Wall Scholarship Ceremony. So we just really wanted to take the time to thank you for coming, to being part of such a special day for us. So I am honored to be here with each one of you today. This is an especially special one and difficult one even for me because honestly 3 of the ones that are going on the wall today worked here when I started 24 years ago, so got to know them very well and work with them very closely. So we appreciate you all taking your time to be here and just really recognize them today. We also want to thank you really for the donations. So the money that we get with this memorial wall, we actually give scholarships to some of the teammates' kids at our facilities and just really get to help them with their college education and just continuing on. So really want to welcome you. Thank you all for being here. And with that, I will turn it over to Denise White. She's Facility Exec and Chief Nursing Officer of Atrium Health Union.
Thanks, Missy, and welcome everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I know everybody's excited to be here on a Saturday morning, but this really means a lot for us to have you here today to celebrate and to honor some very special individuals who are part of our family here at Union. whether it be Atrium Health Union, CMC Union, Union Memorial Hospital, Union Regional Medical Center, whatever we've been. Everybody's played a role in making us really who we are today, and we can't thank you enough for that, and thank you for being here. It's also wanted to share with you a little bit about how we got here, and when I saw Donna walk in back there, I was like, oh, Donna, you're here. Donna Laney, raise your hand, Donna. Donna actually started a lot of the conversations related to the Memorial Wall Scholarship Program. Back in 2003, we had a lot of individuals who over the years have been honored. You might see some benches or some plaques throughout the building, just different ways of recognizing individuals, because, you know, we can't be who we are today as an organization without our legacy of our individuals who work here. So a lot of different ways of honoring people, but we had some money collected for another teammate, and Donna really and a group of individuals said, let's think about that. Let's think of a different way maybe than just benches or plaques, which are very important. But how can we really take the time to honor our teammates, whether it be a provider or any of our staff members, volunteers? How can we really find a way to take it and put it together in a different way? So we really talked about how can we not only honor our individuals when we lose them, but how can we tell the story of who we were as an organization and our journey to how we got here? So really a group of our team got together, said, let's think about doing a memorial scholarship fund, which led to, well, let's do a memorial wall, which led us to where we are today at our ceremony where we get the opportunity to honor. So a group of retirees got together back in 2003 and came up with a list of individuals who might be willing, family members might be willing to honor them through a plaque on the wall. We asked for a small monetary donation so that can go to our scholarship fund. And actually we had our first memorial scholarship ceremony 20 years ago. So 2004 was the first year that we did this. So when you think back 20 years in today's world, that's a long time. That's a long time to be able to continue a legacy, because many things we know in the society today, things come and go. We move on to the next thing. But this is so important to us because who we are today as Atrium Health Union would never be without who's been before us. And people we know have given much of their heart, their soul, their life, their time, their energy to make us who we are today. We are much larger. We have another campus at Union West now that's part of us too. We have a campus at Waxhaw that's part of us too. But it started back here, actually in the 1950s, with a group of individuals who wanted to make healthcare accessible for our community, who wanted to make sure that people lived in this community got the care they deserved, and they put their hearts, minds, souls, and energy into making that happen. So we can't move forward without remembering where we've been. I think that's where we make our biggest mistakes today, is we forget where we've been. So by having the opportunity to honor your family members today and to actually award our scholarships, we really think this is one of our most important days of the year. For us, it means the most because we get to remember, we get to think of great happy memories, hopefully for you, but we also know that you as family members sacrificed a lot too. I will tell you, I've been in healthcare for a long time. I'm gonna just go ahead and admit it. I've been a nurse for 42 years. I've worked at a hospital for 46 years. We don't close. We're open 24/7, 365, and we're always here. And when patients need us, we're here. But y'all are at home and have been at home many times with family events, with sporting events, with family meals, things that you needed to do, but your loved one was here with us. And we want to say thank you for that. Because without your sacrifices and giving your family members to us, we wouldn't be able to do what we can do for our patients in our community every day. So thank you for your sacrifices that you've made too to get us to this point today. So it's a great honor today that I get to recognize 4 of our individuals who are no longer with us, but who made an incredible contribution to our organization. We're also going to have some time to recognize our scholarship winners. We want you as family members to see the legacy that's moving forward thanks to your contributions. And then at the end of the program, we're going to escort you over to the wall. The plaques in the back of the room will be put up on the memorial wall, and your family members are going to be there. As always, remember with everyone else on that wall for the contributions they've made to us for us to be where we are today. So it's with great honor today that we recognize our honorees. So our first honoree, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to leave anything out, and I tend to do that. So our first honoree is Judy Allison. Judith was born in Mecklenburg County to Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Lyles in June of 1952. She's preceded in death by her parents and her brother David Lyles. Left to cherish her memory are her loving husband David of 49 years, her sons Keith and Jeremy, his wife Christy, her brother Michael, and her grandsons Zachary and Rhett, and her granddaughters Olivia and Scarlett, and her niece Lisa Pruitt and husband Scott. Judy was a loving wife, mother, grandmother, sister, and aunt. Supportive in all that they did, her children referred to her as their biggest cheerleader. Strong and loyal, her sons state she was the best, or the GOAT. And we know what that means, greatest of all time. She enjoyed beach music and socializing with friends. And most of all, she adored being a granny. She loved hard, and many were fortunate enough to love her back as hard. Following in the steps of her mother, a longtime volunteer at Atrium Pineville, Judy was among the very first group of volunteers at our newest location, Union West, in the community in which she lived, Stallings. Her team at Union West states Judy had a heart of gold. Every day that she came to volunteer with us, she had a big smile on her face and was ready to help in every way. She was kind to not only our team, but to every patient and their family. She was more than a volunteer at Union West. She was part of our family, and her presence is greatly missed. When Judy found out her role as a volunteer would require her to be on her feet, she actually took the time to get a personal trainer so that she could be up for the job, to do the job well and not miss a beat. If that doesn't talk about dedication and commitment, and think about our volunteers. Our volunteers are giving of their time freely to help others and to help the entire healthcare team be able to do what we do every day. So we can't do what we do without our volunteers. And when we opened the doors at Union West and we put the call out for volunteers, Judy came with a heart open to serve, not knowing what she walked into, because we didn't either. New hospital, we didn't really know what was going to happen, but she came in wide open to do what needed to be done for our community. So it was with great honor today that we recognize Judy Allison and all the contributions she made for us. So I'd ask a member of her family to come forward and receive this rose. Our next honoree is Dr. John Vincent Caddy. Dr. Caddy was born January 30th, 1949 to the late Vincent and Helen Caddy. He is survived by his loving wife of 29 years, is that right, Kim? 29? 28 years today. Kim Caddy, daughter Kirsten Caddy Gifford and husband Ryan, grandsons Christopher and Josh, granddaughters Emmy, son John Caddy Jr. and wife Stephanie and grandson Tucker. His sisters Dolores Caddy Kane and husband Michael, his brother Donald Kane and wife Nancy, and several nieces and nephews. Dr. Caddy dedicated his entire life to serve in our community. Actually, he served in our community for over 30 years. He received his medical degree from Sidney Kimmel Medical College at Thomas Jefferson University and was a board-certified surgeon since 1980 and spent his entire career in Monroe, North Carolina. In addition to private practice, he worked for our wound care center, and I will tell you that Union EMS is here today because of Dr. Caddy. Dr. Caddy he was our first medical director for Union EMS, and that changed pre-hospital medicine in Union County forever. So that is something that I want to make sure we recognize him for. Dr. Caddy also mentored many surgeons to come, as he was an instructor of fourth-year medical students at UNC Chapel Hill, as well as he served as a PA instructor for the physician assistant program at Wingate. His family states he loved playing with his grandchildren and watching their sporting events and games. He was an avid gardener, as you can tell by his yard, and he always had beautiful flowers and trees. He enjoyed paracording. Several of us have some of his paracords. He made flags, whether large or small, for police departments near and far. He also made rosaries for his church family, as well as sending them to missionaries in California and overseas. One thing about Dr. Caddy, he had a heart of a servant for God, and he spent an hour every day praying for those in need and for people that he cared for. Many of us need to live by that example today. I tell people, and y'all can blame Dr. Caddy, he was on the interview committee that brought me here. He was one of our physicians, so it's his fault, y'all, that have to work with me every day. And one of the things that I learned immediately when I talked to Dr. Caddy in the interview is he cared. He cared about his patients, he cared about his community, and he only wanted the best for everyone he came in contact with. One of the things I learned about Dr. Caddy too in my years of working with him, and I respected him so much for this, Dr. Caddy, he would come to you when there was an issue, but he would also come to you with a solution. He was not somebody who just said, there's a problem, you need to fix it. He was one who came to say, we got some challenges, but let's think about how we can make it better. Not better for Dr. Caddy, but better for our patients. And that's the legacy he leaves behind here in our organization. And we are better today because Dr. Caddy gave 30 years of his life to this community and to this organization, and his legacy will live forever. So at this time, I'd like to ask him to come forward and let us recognize her and the family. Our next honoree is Dr. Gary Wayne Henry. Dr. Henry was born March of 1952 in Guilford County, and he was the son of the late James Brown Henry and Wanda Hedrick Henry. He was raised in Albemarle, very local. He lived a life of service and dedication. After attending South Stanley High School, he bravely served in the United States Army at the age of 18. Returning home, he ventured into entrepreneurship with his own trucking business, but due to a back injury, he left that career to pursue another opportunity in medicine. Dr. Henry completed at MUSC his physician assistant program, and then he began his medical journey under the mentorship of Dr. Charles Scarborough, serving the community diligently. But that wasn't enough. He continued on to ECU Brody School of Medicine, completing his medical degree, and established his own practice, now Community Medical Family Practice in Marshville. Dr. Henry's impact extends beyond the walls of his office. From serving as an emergency medicine physician in Anson County to providing care in the Autumn Care Nursing Home and the Union and Anson County jails, his compassion knew no bounds. Affectionately known as Doc throughout the community, and that's what he was, Dr. Henry's dedication was unwavering, always a phone call away for his patients. Outside of medicine, he cherished moments with his family, indulging in his passions for hunting, fishing, baseball coaching, and his faith in Jesus Christ. Those left to cherish his memory include his loving fiancée, Teresa Godwin, his children, Buffy Henry Beach and spouse, Jamie, Charles Henry and wife, Lauren, Garrett Henry and wife, Michaela, Nicholas Henry and his grandchildren, Bryce, Brooks, Taylor, and Cole, and his brother, Jimbo. I had the honor and the privilege of working with Dr. Henry. He was a provider who came to the hospital to see his patients before everything changed and we went to a hospital-based program. And one thing about Dr. Henry, it didn't matter day, night, family, y'all know this, evenings, weekends. If his patients needed anything, Dr. Henry came. And one of the things as a nurse is you always knew that if you called Dr. Henry and his patients needed anything, he showed up. He came. Didn't matter, because the most important thing to him was his patients. And his patients truly loved him because he loved them back. And I think that's a legacy that cannot be replaced. Another thing about Dr. Henry, he was a lot like Dr. Caddy. If he had a problem, he let you know, but he always came with a solution. Because he cared about this community, he cared about this hospital, he cared about his patients, and he truly had a heart of service that extended beyond the walls of everything he did. So it was a great honor to be able to work and serve with Dr. Henry, and we're incredibly honored to honor him today. So we'd like to ask the member of his family to come forward and receive this rose. Our last honoree today is Robbie Osmond. Robbie was a nurse who worked with us. He was born November 7, 1969 in Milton, West Virginia, to the late William and Candace Osmond. He graduated from Milton High School, where he wrestled and also played football. If you knew Robbie, you understood that. Robbie attended Stanley Community College, where he received his certified nursing assistant degree, his LPN degree, and his associate nursing degree. Robbie went on to achieve both his bachelor's and master's in nursing at Western Governors University. He began his career at Union Memorial Hospital as a CNA, which is now Atrium Health Union. One of the things Robbie spent most of his career in was in the emergency room. Robbie loved emergency medicine. He worked there as a LPN, an RN, a house supervisor, a manager, a clinical supervisor. He did it all. And then Robbie was ahead of his game. Robbie was one of the first people who really took on the role in emergency management. And how timely is that today as we have all that's happening in Western North Carolina and the role emergency medicine plays, or emergency management plays in dealing with crisis. I'll never forget sitting in my office and Robbie came to me and said, "Hey Denise, can I talk to you a minute? There's a new Joint Commission thing coming out." Now, Joint Commission is an organization that accredits us and surveys us every 3 years. He said, "They're talking about these standards in emergency management. I really would like to do that." Got somebody likes to do something, I'm gonna say, okay, great, do it. Little did I know how forward-thinking Robbie was. Robbie's passion for emergency management positioned Union County above most counties in the state because he was on the cutting edge of emergency management. So his partnership with Union County, with all the local agencies, and his passion for this positioned Union County for an emergency response to any situation. Everybody followed us after that, and it was Robbie who led the way in that. He was deployed on Med 1 in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina devastated the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and he went back again in 2018 when Hurricane Florence attacked the coast of North Carolina. He left Union to go and work at the jail, as a nurse at the jail, and he also served as a medical examiner for our community. That says a lot about his heart for our community. He was an amazing and loving dad to his Gracie, who grew up with us, and she was his pride and joy, and we always knew that. He had a servant heart as evidenced by his long career in healthcare and his service to our community. One thing about Robbie was talk. He was a talker, and he had some stories. And when Robbie came to talk, Jay, you don't just talk, you know you needed to block your calendar, because he had a lot to say, but he always entertained us. He's referred to as a great neighbor, smart, an educated nurse and teacher, and a loyal friend. And we are so honored today to be able to recognize Robbie, gone too soon, but he made us a better organization by all the work he did for us at our community. So thank you for allowing Robbie to be a part of our family, and at this time I'd like to ask Gracie to come forward and receive this flower. I hope you can see today that because of your family members and your friends, we are who we are today. And we'll continue to be strong, we'll continue to get better for our community because of the legacy that's been left behind. But one of the greatest legacies we're getting to leave today is the ability to honor these three incredible individuals who, because of your generous contribution as family members, we were able to award them scholarships. The way the scholarships work is that anyone that is a dependent of a family member that works with us can do an application. It's not just somebody comes and says, hey, I want a scholarship, yeah, here's some money. It is a very competitive process. The applications are blinded. We don't know who they are. We don't know who their family member is. They have to do they have to fill out an application. They have to get reference letters. They have to write a story about why we should give them the scholarship, about what their passion is in life, and what they're looking to do. Then a group of individuals from the scholarship committee get together, look at all of those blinded, And then we have to make the difficult decision of deciding who the winner's going to be. And it is not until we've decided who the top 2 or 3 are that we even know who those individuals are. So it's completely awarded on merit. And I think this year we had 18. I knew there was a lot because we were overwhelmed, but 18 applications, and we had to narrow it down to 3. So this is a very competitive process, and it's also a great honor for our recipients who receive this. So I want to share with you at this point our 2024 Memorial Scholarship recipients. And we're very fortunate that we have one here today, and we have some that aren't here today because guess what they're doing? They're either in school or they're out serving in the world doing great things. Our first is Catherine Arce, but her parents, Arce Miguel over here, is here. Miguel, this is his daughter, and Miguel works in POM, our plant operations and maintenance team. He keeps this building running. And his daughter, Catherine, has a passion for healthcare. And she is pursuing a nursing degree at Lee University, and that's where she is today. Her parents are over there. Yes, she is, because she needs to be in school. And it was a great honor to recognize Catherine with this scholarship and know that she's going to do great things in the world. So thank you, Miguel, for letting her apply, and thank you for what she's going to do to make us better. So Catherine, hats off to her. Sarah Jane Braswell is another one of our recipients, and she's the daughter of Shay Braswell, and Shay is over here representing Sarah Jane today because Sarah Jane is in South Africa on a mission journey, serving there until November, and she will be coming back to focus on special education and doing a lot of work in the ministry and in the mission field to make the world a better place. Sarah Jane has a huge passion for children with special needs. That is where her passion is, and she's going to pursue that. She also has a passion for missions, as evidenced with her work now being in South Africa, and it was a great honor to recognize Sarah Jane with a scholarship. So, Shay and family, thank you so much. And we're fortunate to have today with us Aaron Bowman in the back. Aaron, you want to stand up even? And Aaron is here. He's a son of Gwen. Gwen, who works in our rehab department, and nothing, unfortunately, could have been scripted any differently for this. He is going into a career in emergency and disaster management, and is currently at Western Carolina. But I found out that due to the recent events of everything that's going on, he spent over 35 straight hours serving in his community. Just recently, making sure that his community was okay as a college student. So when we talk about the legacy you're leaving with the scholarships, and you talk about the impact that these kids are going to make on our community, you can't get much more powerful than that. So Aaron is a great representation of what we want this scholarship to be. We want it to be for people who their families have given to this organization. We want to give back to them so that these kids can come back and give back to the society today. And I think today is a great example with Catherine, Sarah Jane, and Aaron that you made the right decision to honor your family members with this contribution to the scholarship. And these kids are going to go out and do great things in honor of your family members. And we got a lot of a great future ahead of us thanks to them. So take another minute with me to honor Catherine, Sarah Jane, and Aaron. I can't thank you enough as family members for being here, but I would be remiss if I didn't thank the people that made this happen. Joey is always here to be our videographer, to record this. We'll get this recorded live stream or have it for you to view later. Joey does an incredible job with that. His full-time job is not this, it's EMS, but he does a great job. He is our go-to with this work. So thank you, Joey, for always being here. And Holly was here earlier. She serves as the chair for our Memorial Scholarship Committee, and it takes a village. If you're a member of the Memorial Scholarship Committee, will you raise your hand? And most of them are in the back or standing up. Raise your hand. Let us recognize you for the great work that you do too. This event does not happen without a lot of coordination and a lot of compassion, and I will tell you, Saturday morning, there's a lot of things that other people could be doing, but we always think this is important, and we always want to be here. So thank you for being here. Thank you for allowing us to honor your family member. Thank you for giving them to us the time you gave them to us, and we hope that this event today gives you a little bit of healing as you continue that journey of grief, and because I know that your loss is tremendous. So thank you for being here. So what we'd like to do now is take a little time to fellowship, have some more to eat because we have plenty. Please eat it, because if you don't, we will have to. And then we're going to take the families over one at a time to the wall. It's a little bit of a walk over to the pavilion, to the wall. The plaques have been put on the wall now. There'll be a ribbon there so you'll know, denoting that this is a new member of our scholarship wall. And then after that, you're dismissed to go. But thank you again for being here today. You are the reason we're here. So at this time, I'd like to ask Dr. Caddy's family. Heather's going to escort Dr. Caddy's family over to the wall. So thank you, socialize, fellowship, and thanks again.